Now let's talk about another element of the shapes that we're talking about. What I've been teaching you are the full chord shapes, but sometimes we don't always play the entire shape. I like to call this an abbreviation of the shape, where you kind of take that first triad out of the equation and you only play the top triad. These are usually referred to as triads, just normal triads, and they're done on the upper three strings, the E, the B, and the G. So let's take the C shape, for example. Basically what we're going to do is take that fourth finger and third finger out of the shape. And we'll do this in the key of A major just because we've been working in that a lot. So you take your third and your fourth finger off, and you start with your first finger on that ninth fret of the G. And then you just play the four notes going up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you end up with a major arpeggio. A good example of what uses this triad shape is the horse race thing that goes like a... So just play around with that and see if you can get that down, and that's just triads, that's how they work. Now these move the exact same way as our full shapes. So if you start in the key of E major, just like we did earlier, using the full C shape, let's do that again with just triads. So remember, you start with your first finger on the G. In this case, it's on the fourth fret because we're in the key of E major. So you can either lead with your first finger on the G, in this case it's on the fourth fret, for an ascending arpeggio. Or you can lead with your fourth finger for a descending arpeggio. I much prefer the descending shape, so whatever works out best for you, you just take those and you move them in the exact same way that we did the full shapes. Just remember it's an abbreviation of the original shape. These abbreviated triads will actually incorporate more shapes than the full triads. So in the case of the C shapes and the A shapes, both minor and major are used very commonly for these abbreviated triads. So the C shapes we've gone over, they look like this. And then minor. Notice we only have to move one note now because we only have 1/3 to make from major to minor. Here is the A shapes. Here's major. Notice we have to bar our second finger across the ninth fret in the key of E. And then we have the minor, where we take that second finger on the B string and we slide it back to the 8th fret of the B string. And now our third finger plays the 9th fret of the G. If you have trouble with the stretch, just move it up to the 14th, 13th, and 12th fret, and then you hit that 17th fret. The D shape is the same as the C shape when you abbreviate it. The G shape actually gains some usefulness when we do this abbreviation at the end of it. Another abbreviated triad is a variation on the E minor shape. The way we played the E minor shape was this. But there's another way to play it. The variation for that is to, instead of playing 2 notes on the G, we move the second note on the G up to the B string, which will be the same fret that you played on the G. So in the key of D, it would go like this. And if you add your pinky on the 13th fret in the key of D, that is one way to go about doing the E minor arpeggio. And then you just abbreviate that, and that's what you end up with. It's only one note away from the C major abbreviation. These sound pretty cool when you put them back to back. Basically, we're changing the degree that we're implying, but we're not shifting positions. So if we're doing the C shape abbreviation in the key of A major, we're going to be hitting the 12th fret on the E string, first finger on the 9th fret of the E string, second finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and then first finger on the 9th fret of the G. So it's like this. To turn that into our variation on the E minor as an abbreviation, all you do is, instead of playing the 10th fret on the B, you bar your first finger for the 9th fret of the B. So it's like this. Now you have to get the finger roll down with your first finger, so do it very slowly, don't get frustrated, it's just awful. These sound pretty cool when we put them back to back. Now remember, the first abbreviation that we're playing is A major, using the C shape. So by playing that E minor shape, we're implying the third degree. We're playing a C sharp minor there, an abbreviation of it, which is the third degree of A major. And instead of having to move up to the third degree like this, we're instead staying right here, playing the same notes, taking the top note away and adding another one to the bottom. So it's like this. Sultans of Swing is a really good song to kind of get some of these arpeggio shapes down if you want to learn the solo for that.